Very much. Well, let's extend that business theme. It's Joe today with all the business news. Hi, Joe.
How are you? Yes, we're watching General Motors and we're watching kind of Opel and the big decision hopefully going to come out of Germany in the next few hours. Certainly a lot of people will be watching that. 5,000, in fact, Vauxhall car workers are waiting for the German government to announce its decision on the future of the firm's owner, General Motors Europe. Germany is due to reveal its preferred bidder for Opel in Germany and Vauxhall here in the UK very soon. The Business Secretary, Lord Mandelson, said he had received assurances from all four bidders that they were committed to Vauxhall car production in Britain. But Tony Woodley, General Secretary of the Unite Union, said Lord Mandelson wasn't doing enough for Vauxhall workers.
Of course governments are going to have to turn down and support jobs. It's no good supporting the spivs and the speculators and the bankers with £900 billion of our money, only to find that we're not upholding jobs, keeping people in work as opposed to on the dole, keeping people in their homes as opposed to repossessions. And that's why the conversations have been plentiful from the government. But we don't need conversations now. We need a physical presence with negotiators who know this industry, who are battling for Britain.
Now, in response to Tony Woodley's comments, the Business Secretary, Lord Mandelson, said that Vauxhall had not asked for any financial help, but he didn't rule out government aid for them in the future.
Vauxhall has not asked the British government to help them financially. But in the longer term, there has to be a consolidation of this production, a restructuring of this company in Europe. It has excess capacity, its costs are too high, and we're not going to see demand for cars restored to their previous high level for, I should think, for many years to come. So there has to be change. Now, in that context going forward, the British government will be a player. We will be representing the interests of the workforce of Vauxhall in the UK. And if that means our having to make some financial underwriting of any new arrangements, then of course we would consider doing that.
And that was the Business Secretary there, Lord Mandelson. Well, John Moylan, our colleague, is outside General Motors plant in Luton, and he joins us now. John, thanks for joining us. I understand the latest is now we won't necessarily get a decision from the Germans today. It could be tomorrow or even later.
Yeah, the latest I have from GM is that, and in a sense, GM theoretically are the people who are going to make a decision on preferred bidder for GM Europe. The latest I've had from them is that it's more likely that we may hear something tomorrow. And of course, the reason why all of this is coming out of Europe and coming out of Berlin is because Germany, if you like, is the centre of gravity for GM across Europe. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. There's about 5,000 Vauxhall GM workers in the UK. There's 25,000 in Germany. Germany's where the action is. And of course, there's going to have to be government funding put in to try and help this business stay afloat in the years ahead. It's the German government which is taking the lead in that. And that's why we have this crucial meeting coming up tonight, which may well lead to some kind of decision out of GM tomorrow.
Remind us, John, about the four bidders that are hoping to get their hands on General Motors Europe. And who do you think the workers there at Luton, General Motors Luton, would prefer to get control?
Well, I've got to say, it's a real concern here because when you talk to union officials, they really have had no information from the company, from government. They don't know anything really about the bidders. And I think what really concerns them is what they're hearing about what some of the bidders are saying. I mean, two of the companies which appear to be in pole position, Fiat and this Canadian auto parts maker, Magna, I mean, both have indicated that in terms of where the pain is going to be and where the job cuts are going to be, that the UK could well be, if you like, worse off. And certainly sources close to Magna have indicated that when they look at the UK business, they're certainly going to have to take a very close look at this plant behind me, the van plant here in Luton, which employs about 1,400 people.
John Moylan, thank you very much, John, there outside the GM factory in Luton.
We'll await the news. Joe, thanks very much. Joe Lynham there with the business.